Welcome back. We are once again joined by our power woman, Claire Brown, in studio. Claire, we're hearing all the buzz these days about interest rates, inflation, the housing market. Seems to be the main topic of discussion. So for you, what are you hearing in CA?
So I hear so much. It's definitely a topic of conversation at lunch, around the dinner table. And so interest rates have started to give people pause regarding their next move, except should it really give us that much more pause than it did a year ago? I mean, when I started selling real estate over 20 years ago, the interest rates were at 8%. And then, you know, when I was born, interest rates were at 20%. So despite the interest rate, refinancing is always your best option. And so they've dropped, you know, here and there, of course. And so if you purchased a property 20 years ago and you held on to it, then if you dated the rate and married the house, then you had the opportunity to refinance the property. And then that way, what would it be worth now? And so you have to take a look at it and think of it truly as a market. And you hold on to the asset and then invest in it. And so if you look at the here and now instead of the long-term gain, you're really going to get tripped up and you'll never make progress. But I mean, what would your property be worth now had you purchased it 20 years ago?
That's a good question. And you know, when we're talking about this shift in the market, how is that impacting us locally as opposed to the national outlook that we've been seeing?
Right, and so it's fascinating. I mean, as we've discussed many, many times here, our market is extremely stable here in Little Rock. We're almost insulated, and shifts do not affect us as drastically as they do other markets across the country. And historically speaking, in certain price ranges, they're still in high demand here in areas. They're still seeing multiple offers on listings. At least we are in Little Rock, and we probably always will. We are now selling at 100% market, as before we were selling at above 100% market. And so I know that it seems like things have shifted, but really they're still not back down to what they were before COVID.
And so if someone is looking to buy or sell a home right now, which, you know, some people are, what would you recommend them doing?
Well, I still recommend to buy and sell. I mean, it's always a good time to invest in the market. You need to first interview realtors and find who is your best fit, because they're truly a partner, and then they become an advocate for you throughout the entire transaction. Next, you need to remember the rules of real estate will never change despite the economy. They just don't. Real estate is a price war and a beauty contest. So if you're priced right and you look good, darling, you're going to go places. You're going to sell despite the market. And last, people will continue to get married, to have babies, to get divorced, to unfortunately pass away, and then they relocate in our market quite a bit. These are all things that cause people to move, not interest rates. So focus on what's best for your family, because in the end, that's all that matters.
Exactly. All right, Claire, thank you for that great advice today.
My pleasure, my joy. Yeah,
of course.
It's so fun.
It's some great advice there, of course, if you're doing anything with inflation or the housing market.